Azarath, Metreon, Zenthos! Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another Nerd Tube review. We are talking about Titans Season 4, Episode 4, and oh my god, Super Mart. I almost forgot the name of the episode, called Super Mart. I am, of course, joined by my lovely DC compatriot in arms, Zamario. How you doing?
Hey, I'm fine, thank you. I'm sorry I'm not wearing my usual attire. I'm just in my casuals today, but
And
yeah, that's how it
apparently,
goes.
and apparently, my dog is going just nuts in the background.
Yeah,
Dude, look at this dude. Look at this a-hole. Sorry.
love it. I love it. I love it.
All right. So, so this episode does give us a lot of backstory on, yeah, dude. This it's like your birds. They just like in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, I'm focusing. Um, so we this episode is more of like a backstory episode for Mother Mayhem and the other lady that looks like Mother Mayhem that I keep confusing with Mother Mayhem. And also we get to see a return of a character from season 1, the guy that was sent that psychotic family after Rachel and the Titans. I don't know if you remember him, Zam. Remember, he's the one who was always making the eggs, and
I don't remember Jack. I don't remember shit, man. I'll be honest with you.
okay. Well, people out there who have watched who remember season 1, which some of us kind of wish we didn't, um, will remember. So, and I don't remember the guy's name. I'm sorry. But I'll bring it
They
up here.
they really went deep down the magic rabbit hole. In that one, that's what I vaguely remember of season 1. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah. One, I mean, I think they are kind of getting into. I think they are kind of getting into some of that too, because
yeah,
they're
this season, yeah.
like they're kind of, but I think maybe they're kind of going back to it, but I think they're going to do it better this time than they did in the first season for sure. Um,
I
I'm
mean,
actually a little bit more. Go ahead.
there's always elements of it. Like we had the Lazarus Pit last season, which was the resurrection of Jason Todd. So that was it there. But it's always been very like here and there, like season 2 and 3. But this season, wow, they've really delved into it. In my opinion.
Hmm. Um, So yeah, I mean, so we get some backstory on them. We get a little bit of interactions between the Titans. We get them actually talking about Jinx actually talking about how Superboy is, or the Kryptonians are not very fond of magic, and Superboy's completely oblivious. He's like, no, he's not. Superman's not afraid of magic, and like even Tim Drake is like, yeah, he is. Like, yeah, he's like, yeah, no, he's not really. And I'm glad they acknowledge that, because as I said, I feel like this is a very good season, a very good topic of this season for Superboy to struggle with, like not being powerful. And we see that in this episode. He gets stabbed in this episode, and then you like
I
pretty
just,
good.
I just like so. There's moments where I think to myself, like Superboy could take care of everything. Like those zombies, for instance. Like
Hmm.
he's got the speed and the power to take care of them all within 10 seconds. I mean, he
He
can
he
knock up, he can decapitate, and the fact that were they actually zombies? Were they actually the Walking Dead? Because they looked like they were under mind control, and if that's the case, they were killing innocent people. So I
I
had some real
honestly
issues with that.
I wonder if they were cult members. Like I wonder if they were just cult members that were kind of like gaslighted. Not maybe like The Walking Dead. They kind of moved like The Walking Dead. Um
Well, we this is like there's a lot of things that's bugging me about this series so far. I was very much looking forward to it, but now I'm just constantly asking questions, and it's not good. Like this lady, obviously, she has some sort of manipulation powers, but is it over everyone? And if not, then why can't she just make all the entire Titans kill themselves? I mean, if that's the case, it's
I,
just
these are good
it.
questions.
It's just I hate having I hate having to be in those sort of scenarios. Like obviously Corey's very powerful. and I've already mentioned Connor's very powerful. Like they always try to set it up in a way that fucking Dick has to fight people. You know what I mean? When they can really just take care of business themselves, it's ridiculous. We're not hiding from Deathstroke and stuff like that. You know, it's just oh god, it's just you know. I'm starting to already sour on this show, which is not a good thing, by the way.
I
Um,
actually I'm actually warming up to this. As I said, I'm not saying that you know what points you have here are not valid. Like I do, but I think maybe I'm willing to suspend my belief a little bit more than you are in this instance. So you know, we do in this episode, you know, we started off. I'll kind of get into the recap a little bit, but it's going to be a loose recap. We start off with Mother Mayhem, obviously years ago. I believe it was in like the late 90s, 96, 97. And she's going to work. Her boss treats her like a dick, and she uses her magic to basically make him walk out a window, which is like, okay. I mean, it tracks with the Titans.
was she
Um,
aware of this? I mean, did she not know she had this power early on? And she wasn't even just doing that. She was like she was moving objects as well. She's not just got telepathic power. She's got, it seems like she had telekinetic powers as well. Like I swear that, like she walked past a plant and it revitalized and and stuff like that. There's all type manners of craziness going on. Yeah.
yeah. But then she is approached by the man from season one that I mentioned earlier. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry, but he is a part of the organization that was trying to um, and I want to make sure I say this right. They were trying to get Rachel in touch with Trigon or
Her dad.
mother. Yeah, her. Well, they were trying to get Rachel in touch with her mother so that she could release her father. You know, Trigon. So I mean, we're kind of
I
tying.
vaguely remember that. I vaguely like because, like I said, this the final episode of the season was so poorly done, um, with some sort of mind lapse episode. But regardless of that, did we see her mother? Um, in season one, I can't
Yeah, we
remember.
did. Yep. Yeah, and she died.
Okay.
I think either Trigon killed her or I don't remember. It was, but we definitely saw her in
Oh,
season one.
I vaguely remember some bullshit. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's just it's such a blur. It's
Yeah.
such a I mean, like that's why they nipped it in the bud so quickly in season two, but they knew it was fucking bollocks. You know
Well,
what I
and
mean?
actually, the reason why that was because it was there was only 11 episodes, or I think 12 episodes in season one, and it was supposed to be 13, and then so I don't know why, but the season one episode one of season two was supposed to be the finale of season one. Like the season premiere of season two was supposed to be the finale of season
Okay.
one. So I don't know why they did it that way. I don't know if they thought thematically it worked, which I don't think it did. As I said, season one of Titans is kind of a wash. Like I'm like, I know what they were going for. It's like Star Trek season one, any Star Trek season one. It's rough, okay, and then season two got much better. Um, but so after that, of course, she says she lost her job, which I don't know if she lost her job just because her boss is dead or if because they knew she. I don't know how they would have known she did it. You know, so I
Yeah,
think.
there's another issue. I'm glad you brought that up. That this was one of the many things that was bugging me. You know,
I
she
mean,
just lost her job.
unless she was retained through him, and then so once he was dead, I mean, like maybe the new person brought in a new assistant. Like I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
And
That is another thing that kind of just doesn't make sense.
it was also very weird how they done it as well because they had it set in the 90s, but they were playing music from the 60s. You know, what I mean, almost gave like it was very unusual aesthetic. I know they were playing a song which was about witchcraft or witches or something like that, which is from the 60s, but I just didn't think it necessarily worked when you're having a flashback in the 90s. So yeah, you know, like these like these people in the editing rooms or whatever, they just need to just select things a little bit smarter, in my opinion. I know
Yeah.
everyone's a critic nowadays. Yeah, Season of the Witch, that's it. Daniel Vance. Yeah, it just I get it, but it just didn't work. It just didn't work for me. You know what I mean? If you're doing a flashback to the 90s, then play some 90s music. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you
play
know,
some
in
separate. Yeah, yeah.
the '90s, all the parents, like all the adults of the '90s, though, were listening to what they grew up with, which was from the '60s. It makes sense, but I get what you're saying. Like if you're in the '90s, play the '90s. I get what you're
If you're
saying.
flashbacking, if you're flashbacking, that is, I mean, then just to keep the aesthetic all the same.
Yeah, and
So
I agree.
yeah.
Yeah, because when my dad was when I was growing up in the '90s, my dad always played '60s and '70s. So I mean, so that's why I know a lot of '60s and '70s, rather than '90s. But then in the late '90s, early 2000s, when I became an adult, that's when I started actually liking music and stuff like that. Anyway,
Hello, Commodore
hello,
Boone.
hello, Commodore Boone. Okay, so we then go to okay, so the organization leader gives her a card. It just says the organization on it. I think on the back all it says is I think she it says Azaras
It says
Metreon
Beetlejuice,
Zinthos.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, and she's
Pretty
written
much.
yeah, and she does say it, but nothing actually happens when she says it.
Well, there's kind of like a little bit of a musical whimsical thing that
Yeah,
happens, but yeah, you're right. Nothing happens like like other things with the stuff. Anyway, so after that, so of course she's a little bit confused, and then we go back to the present where we have Sebastian is sitting out by a fire. We have Rachel, of course, consulting him. We have Dick and Corey talking about what the plan is, what they're going to do with him, where they're going to take him, all that other stuff. I mean, they're just kind of plot thread stuff that they're trying to kind of move forward. How are we going to get from point A to plot point A to plot point B? Um, we then go into the RV where Beast Boy, Tim Drake, Jinx, and Superboy are having the conversation that I mentioned earlier about, talking
magic.
about all the magic and how Superman has not. I say a fear of magic. He's not afraid of it, but he's weak to it. So he has like a weakness to magic. Kryptonians just never, and that's why I always say Black Adam is a great foil for Man of Steel too, because Shazam and Black Adam are more magic wielders, and basically Black Adam and Shazam are magic Superman. So you're really like, that would really put Superman on the back foot.
Okay, Azarath Metreon Zintos is Trigon's way of inhabiting someone's soul. Uh huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know in the original Titans, what's it called? Uh, Cartoon. Raven said that whenever she did magic, and I know that's not exactly but that's why I always equate it to, the magic is, it's because whenever Raven in the cartoon would do magic, she would always say the Azarath Metreon Zinthos, and that would be kind of like her Kamehameha call, like whenever she used magic. Um,
Yeah.
so anyway, so the team kind of starts deciding what they're going to do, and we go back to the '90s again, where we have Mother Mayhem and the other chick that I always get confused with Mother Mayhem. They're doing some gardening, and the organization leader, of course, is basically gaslighting them at this point, and they're trying to look for like a vessel, I think, for the the birth of the child that will Trigon's offspring. So
And yeah, they especially like those two. I remember him saying that. I
yeah.
mean, very creepily, obviously, and then they do the leap of faith or whatever the fucking they do later on. I mean, you, so just to continue where you left, continue where you're going with this, like
Yep.
when they're standing around that hole and they're standing back to it, and the guy mentions to them, yeah, fall back in, someone's Azeroth will catch you. Azeroth? Oh, sorry, Trigon will catch you. And
Yeah. Very
does that
culty
actually
stuff.
happen? Yeah, but that doesn't happen. They just fall back, God knows how far down into a goddamn hole. That should kill them theoretically, But no, it doesn't. I mean, do they get caught by anybody? We never know. Like some of these things are left up in the air, so I'm a bit confused by it personally.
I don't understand. Like everybody was blindfolded. Everybody was standing in a circle around this hole. Was it just like whoever had the balls to go first? Like, is that what it was, or I don't know. So skipping forward a little bit, but still along the same lines of what we're doing. They're both climbing out on the ladder, and then
Mother
um,
Mayhem's got her face right in the other girl's ass. I'm not sure if you noticed that.
not really. No,
I couldn't
no.
help but notice that, but yeah. But
I
she
mean,
has a
she was
big ass.
basically helping her up, and then
Yeah, I mean,
I
she's got a
think,
shoulder there, but she's got like side of her cheek on her cheek, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. But then I mean, but then I don't know. And then the one elbows the other, and then
there can only be one proper
yeah, there can
Highlander
only be
style.
one,
Yeah,
and just elbows Mother Mayhem in the face. I think it's Mother Mayhem is the one who gets elbowed and falls back down.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and then and then the other one crawls back out. I don't remember what her name is. I was trying to look and see if I could find what her name was, but um, so
No
yeah,
idea.
so going back just a little bit, so the team decides to head to the asylum since they obviously know that this is all has to do with Raven, Trigon, all this other stuff. So they decide to go to the asylum where a super Mart has been built apparently. So I guess it's going to be the new. I maybe they should have
What the hell
shot.
is a supermarket? Do you know what? Do you,
I think it's just
it's
a
made up.
generic store. Yeah, I think
It's
it's made.
just
Oh,
it's okay.
it's absolutely made up.
Okay, fair enough.
I think even in the episode they say like this is made up. So outside the store are all these ravens flying around. So obviously they're cued that something shady's still going on here. So they go to uh like some warehouse or back door looking area, and Connor
Yeah, like,
blasts his way in. But
exactly. I mean, he could have just opened the door with his strength, but yeah, he lasers it instead. Fair enough.
well, I mean, he doesn't want to have to pay property damage for destroying the whole door. Um, so then the team starts to go down into the depths of the old asylum. And of course Mother Mayhem and the other chick are watching, so they know they're there, they
Yeah,
want them there.
and they got Sebastian Stan with them as well, haven't they?
Yeah, and
So
they have Sebastian, so they wanted them to bring Sebastian to them. So
yeah.
so what happens then is they
Well,
gather up their
sorry.
magic.
Just let me just before any of that happens. Yeah, as they're gathering up their magic, basically, like there's a lot of fate in this, so they kind of predict that certain things are guaranteed to happen. Now we already been told that not everything follows the laws of fate because apparently those two chicks kind of went against fate, but they do believe in fate at the same time. So, but the fact that the future is not currently 100% told in entirely, you can go down a different path as probably the get out of jail for the Titans, in my opinion. Hello, Sir John, welcome to the stream, mate. Nice to see you. Hope you've been watching Titans, as we are talking full spoilers. Daniel says Dick secures the gate with a bat. The problem there is the window through which one can easily remove the bat. Connor couldn't have welded the door shut.
I mean, it's a good
Okay.
point. you know Use the superpowers if you got them. And Daniel Vance, of course, welcomes Sir John as well. Okay, so skip it. So that we stop there, then we go back to the whole hole in the middle of the field thing, and we do that again. Um, what happens after that is the lady comes in, and and she thinks that she is going to be the chosen one to bore the child of the child of Trigon. I don't even know if they know how deep this actually goes. And then
How did she get pregnated? Did I miss that?
I think she
Is she
drank
like?
something.
Oh yeah, she drank that from that cup. Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and that's what
Hold
pregnated
on,
her.
you're jumping ahead. So then
Sorry.
she's all dressed up nice in a flowery dress, and then all of a sudden, Mother Mayhem walks in behind her, or May is her name, May. Um, so May walks in behind her instead of it being the organization leader. And then the organization leader does come in because May forgives the other chick, and so everything's all good. So she's willing to accept the fact that flower dress girl going to get the cauldron. We're going to call it, not the cauldron, the cup. What do you call that? The grail? It
The
looks like
got
a grail.
the
Oh, the
goblet.
goblet. Yeah, the goblet. There we go.
Yeah.
That's it.
One
But
second
then
here. Sorry, mate. I ain't got any cars to offer as I got mine from my company. All right. Just to
so then
entertain
we
that
go
bizarre question.
into yeah, get an electric car. Save the environment. Um, and Zam over here has an electric car, so he can give you some recommendations. I do not yet. I will
Volkswagen
in
ID4. Don't ever get a Tesla. They break down all the time. Volkswagen, and they're very unnecessarily expensive. ID4 by Volkswagen. All
okay.
right.
Okay, so then the organization leader actually chooses May to drink from the goblet because not only did she crawl up, then she got knocked down, then she crawled back up again, and then she fought her way, and she fought her way back up there and was willing to
He said
forgive her
no.
friend. I don't.
If yeah, she forgave her friend, and then when the old geezer came along, he mentioned to her, Trigon says that you got heart.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
Like
mean that's what I
she
meant. Like
says, I
she fought
fucking
her way
yeah,
back up, and yeah. So, yeah, but that's a better way of putting it. Is that she's got heart? Yes.
yeah.
Um, we go back to modern day with the team, and they are exploring the organization, or not the organization, the asylum. They find a room with chains in the middle with a muzzle in it, and it's just all freaky looking. Like I mean, this
Well,
is some bullshit.
this is my next thing now because obviously they know that she can. I mean, this is after she's given birth, by the way. No, sorry, sorry. I'm jumping way ahead. Yeah, this is when the
Yeah,
Titans they come in and they find all that sort of stuff. Yeah, yeah, that was very bizarre
yeah.
initially,
Um, so they're talking about
but
it. They
but
find a
but
oh
they knew that this was her room because they saw a picture of her
Yeah,
and her
I was just
and her
getting to that. I
friend.
was just gonna say
Yeah.
Sebastian found a picture of them two, and he says I don't know, I don't know her, and they're like, well, that one's the one that attacked us, and then they said, well, the other one is my neighbor from across the hall. So he's like, yeah,
So
they've been watching you.
yeah,
So
there'd been proper surveillance on his ass.
yep, just like Sharon Carter and Winter Soldier.
I was
Um,
thinking exactly the same thing. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
They find a storybook, and apparently they're putting the pieces of the puzzle together, where it's where the storybook kind of tells the story of I guess Trigon, his second coming, third coming. I don't know what it is, but at this point,
Yeah,
but
man. Got more lives than a fucking cat.
yeah, right. So we get then another flashback to the asylum when Corey basically burned the asylum down after the whole uh asylum. It was actually called Asylum in the first season. Um, and so sorry.
It was
And
Corey who
so
set her free.
pretty much, essentially, it was Corey that set her free because she blew the hell out of the place. Um, so after that, we have a scene where they're listening to some tapes, and they hear the May's giving birth to a child, and it's a boy. And they said that the prophesied child has to be a girl. Now, this is where I get a little bit confused in this episode because I don't know what they did with the baby. Did they kill the baby, or is that supposed to be Sebastian?
Well, before we get to that, let me entertain Sir John's silly question here. Are you watching the show because it's something to watch, or are you seriously invested into this show? I watched like 2 seasons and it completely went over my head. I can you know what? I do get you. I genuinely do get you, but we are fans of comic books and stuff like that. We do like seeing certain characters who don't necessarily take the forefront, which is one of the reasons why I like Wakanda Forever, by the way. Um, and you get this is also with Titans. This is a good live action version of characters you rarely see ever depicted, and so it's good to see characters like Superboy and Nightwing and Tim Drake's Robin and Starfire,
Hmm.
Raven. Like whenever we ever seen these people in live action, we've seen Batman in live action more times than I've had hot dinners. We've seen Superman in live action so many times. This is a good alternative. I personally think it's all right. It's all right, but it's not. I don't think it's necessarily crap, but it has been a bit of a struggle this particular series. For me personally, I do get where you're coming from, Sir John. I genuinely do, but there are moments of where it's very good, and it is an adult. It's funny in a way because it sometimes doesn't feel like an adult oriented show, but then there are moments with the swearing and some of the violence, like the decapitations we got, and the guy stabbing himself with in his eyeballs. That it just reminds me that this is an adult orientated show as well. So yeah, but nevertheless, it's all right. I don't mind it. I would recommend sticking with it. It's just seeing Nightwing come into play, like from Robin to Nightwing. I marked out for that.
Mhm.
I genuinely marked out for that. Seeing Superboy at the end credits of season one, I marked out for that. So yeah, so I don't mind for that. There's some good fan service in there. I'm not sure I was happy with what's his face playing Batman, but
Oh god, that was all. That should have been Alfred. That was so
yeah,
bad.
yeah,
And
all of
yeah, and
that.
there this show does make some pretty serious missteps. I mean, it is by far not a perfect show, but at the same time, Zam's right. Like there's a lot of characters here that we've never seen in live action, like Starfire, like even honestly Nightwing. I don't think we've ever seen Nightwing in live action. Like we've seen Robin in live action, but
Mhm.
we've never seen Nightwing in live action. Um Nightwing
I'll
is
be honest with
actually Oh, go ahead.
I'm happy that we got Nightwing. I'm just not a big fan of his suit. Instead of having this sort of like rubber suit with like plates on it, I wish it was just a one piece without any all that plate bollocks. You know what I mean? It makes him look so fucking fat. I like Nightwing the most. I also found interesting the Dove couple, but that's
Yep.
about it for me. Fair enough, dudes. Fair
the
enough.
uh Hawk and Dove, which yeah, I actually love Hawk more than I love Dove. I mean, Dove is good, don't get me wrong, but like Hawk's development through season 1, 2, and 3 was just so good. I loved it
God,
so
that
much.
that actress is so bloody gorgeous, by the way, and she's in her 40s for fuck's sake. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
I would never have thought it. I would thought she was in her 20s.
Yeah, yeah,
She looks like she's 20.
uh, yeah. Anyway,
Okay. So back onto things. I mean, so they're listening to tapes. They hear the birth of, I'm guessing, Sebastian. It gets a little hazy here for me, just because I don't know if they kill the baby because it's a boy, and then or if she's holding on to the baby and they just won't she just won't let go of the baby, because I don't think she had the baby when they escaped, right? Like,
well, that's the thing. Like, the baby is obviously Sebastian,
I don't. I swear to God, I don't think it is, but
and
maybe it is. I
maybe it is. I feel like they're going that way. My only problem is that they've hired an actor who's 40 years old to play somebody who's maybe 25. So that's a bit of a problem, right?
The actor who plays Sebastian is 40?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But then again, Chadwick Boseman was 40 when he was hired to be Black Panther. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And he was supposed to play a much younger man. So, but I mean, I'm not 100% sure that he is the son. They're kind of hinting at that. That's for sure. But
Well, and that's what they hint at in the episode. Now, it could be a misdirect, but Sebastian is definitely brother blood, so there's got to be something.
because
Um,
Raven might also be her daughter, and that other lady might have not been her daughter in season one. It might have been a stepmom or some shit like that.
it could be. I mean, as I said, I feel like this season might do a little bit of course correcting on doing a little bit of course correcting on the whole
Retconning.
season one. Yeah, well, not really retconning, but like I think course correcting is a better word, because they still acknowledge everything that happened in season one. So okay, so we get some zombie action at this point. I mean, it's kind of your, and this is a bit of a small part where where Zam, you did have some issue with, and I don't disagree with you. There is some,
Well, once again,
as you
like DC superheroes, even though they're known to be a lot darker, unlike the Marvel superheroes, I think the Marvel superheroes are willing to kill, even though they're a lot lighter. While DC superheroes are a lot darker, but they're not really known for being killers. So to see them killing these people who they might be cult members. Sorry about my bird. I do apologize. Stop making so much noise, sweetie. Um, even though they might be under mind control or they might be cult members, I think killing them just felt a bit wrong, and they were like acting like zombies, and they were mentioning how you kill a zombie by fucking not necessarily chopping off the head because the brain's still active, but you got to like kill the brain basically. But I don't know, it just a lot of this felt a bit weird. The fact that once you got Connor Kent on your fucking team, it doesn't matter if there's 100 guys. Yeah, he can take care of all of them. You know what I mean? He can take care of them
Mhm.
all of them in the blink of a fucking eye. But he's got super speed and he's got super strength. He could just run around going bam, 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 bam like the Flash. You know what I mean? Beating the fuck out of them, and that's it. Job's done. Instead, what's he doing? He's playing a human fucking wall. So John says we need more retired heroes. Return back type movies. I think that's the angle that made Invincibles work. Well, you should watch Samaritan, by the way. That's a good one for you on Amazon Prime, starring Sylvester Stallone. I like to keep.
Also,
I like.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Oh,
So go on.
did you get Daniel Vance's? So
Yeah.
Connor
Yeah.
will be is the Will Bayers of the story here vomiting up demi gorgons in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So
Well, we're
yeah, he
gonna get
did.
to that. Yeah. We'll get to that in a sec. But
So we have zombie action here. As Zam said, I mean, really, Connor could just run around the room and just knock all of them out without like even without killing them. Connor could go
he's
like
got super. Yeah, we've seen his
he's got
super
super
speed.
speed. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, he could have knocked all of them out. I guess it's fine. Like as I said, but you got Rachel who's busting out a chainsaw and chopping people's heads off. Like so, I mean, either they're zombies or they're zealots. Either way, people are getting freaking murdered. like
And like when they come across zombie Deathstroke, which I'm not sure if that's what's his name, Wilson. Oh God,
Or not Sam Wilson. Wade Wilson.
Wade Wilson. Yeah, I don't know if that was Wade Wilson or not. We don't really know, but
Well, they infer that it is, which is crazy because yes, he supposedly
I
died
mean,
at the end of season 2, but I really and we'll yeah,
no, he got
moving on to
arrested,
that
didn't
point.
he? Didn't he get
Mm-mm.
arrested?
No, he
Oh yeah,
they
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
his
remember.
daughter, I think
Yeah,
his daughter stabbed him and
yeah,
like he
yeah.
was supposedly died. So this is the part that I really don't like. This part
Bad
really
fan service. Bad fan service.
bad fan service. Like I thought that the whole like Deathstroke, because it was in the previews that Deathstroke was going to show up, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be some kind of like magic mind fuck, like he's gonna like the magic's going to get inside Dick Grayson's head, and Deathstroke's going to show up. No, no, no. In this episode, Deathstroke walks his zombie happy ass in the room, and then he starts fighting the Titans. Obviously, Superboy can handle him because obviously Deathstroke is a superhuman, but more so. But Deathstroke is just an enhanced human. So of course, Superboy punches his head literally off in some questionable CGI, but I can forgive that.
Like
Um,
Evil Dead, he goes back, picks up his head, like a
yeah,
fucking Sleepy
I
Hollow.
I hated this
You
so
know.
much. I hated this so much. Like I thought this was terrible. Like the
well,
just
what I hated as well is once again, like, this is why they write themselves in the corner with superpowered heroes. Now they did a clever trick with Corey that her magical powers don't work on these zombies. Fair enough, you got what you got around that one because Corey's super fucking OP as well. But the moment like Deathstroke put his head back on, like then once again use that super speed, Connor. Don't let him stab you so fucking easily for fuck's sake.
Well,
Yeah,
because he was cocky. The thing is that he was cocky and he thought, well, I mean, he can't stab me with a sword. I'm
yeah,
Superboy.
yeah.
So, I mean,
Was it?
obviously, I think that was okay because, like, Superboy's like, well, I'm Superboy. You can't stab me. But what happens is that I think Mother Mayhem did magic voodoo and made it so that that sword or that knife had magic. So, of course, it was able to stab. The blade was somehow enchanted. I don't know, but um
I was thinking kryptonite. By the way, and regarding it, by the way, this person's this will be right up your alley. I'm not me personally because I haven't watched Gargoyles in ages. But sorry for interrupting
ooh,
again. Friends oftenly talk about their childhood. They bring up Gargoyles, the animated series. By the way, I love his picture. By the way, I never watched an episode. That
I have
what was the
no
charm
idea
of
what
it?
that is.
Well, But yeah, Cheeto loves watching Gargoyle.
I
He's
love
he's very much
Gargoyles. Gargoyles is by far one of the best shows, like cartoons growing up. Gargoyles, The Tick. Um, I mean,
one of the best
Young
Disney's
Justice
best,
wasn't
by
when I
the
was,
way.
huh?
It's one of Disney's best, by the way.
Oh
But I
yeah,
don't want to.
absolutely. It's one of their
Yeah,
darkest too for that era.
I did watch it a lot when I was a kid, but I just once it was done, it was done. I never really gave a shit regarding anybody eating Starfire's ass. My God, that's on my bucket list. By the way, they really know what outfits to let Starfire wear to get the full advantage of her curvaceous body. Gargoyles is one of the best cartoons ever made. There we go.
It
Ginger
is.
Greek has also said that as well. And if Ginger Greek says it, then you know it is. My picture is me paying homage to Shin Chan, my favorite animated sitcom. So okay, fair enough. Um, is it
And
anime?
Big Rob the Butcher.
Big Rob but I like that name. Earthworm Jim was awesome too. Yeah, I didn't mind the video games too much, by the way, back in the day, but I never really got into the cartoon too much. But he always looked like a floppy little like thinly veiled foreskin, walking around in a fucking suit. Um, if Star appears, it'll most likely be a season 4, episode 7, with Stargirl being cancelled on CW. The speculation that they'll add her as a series regular next season, but she's in a totally different universe. She's in the Arrowverse, isn't she?
I
Um,
No, no, it's technically a separate universe. I think you're right. I think Titans and Stargirl's universes are different. I think that Stargirl was in Earth 2 and I think Titans was in Earth 7, I think. But still, maybe this will just be a Titans universe version of Stargirl, but just played by the same actress. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
would be
fair
interesting.
enough.
I wouldn't knock it. I like the actress. I've watched 2 seasons so far of Stargirl, with some of my friends, and I haven't gotten into season 3 yet, but it's good, and I like her. I think she plays a really good character, and I think she's actually pretty good at the role. So I'm on board. Okay, so really, all the only thing we do to wrap this episode up is
Well,
Jinx kills Deathstroke again, and
stabbing him in the good eye, I believe. Is that
yeah,
correct?
stabbing him in the good eye,
But
and that
but
basically breaks Mother Mayhem's control over him or whatever she
yeah, but
has.
once again, she does seem like she's able to have control anybody she wants, though. So why she's not controlling the Titans? That's like there's some continuity errors there, which is really bugging me. There's something that needs to be explained. Is it certain people, some people, is it people who says the incartation, or how you explain that word? Those 3 words. Is that how they end up being controlled by her? I mean, I genuinely don't fucking know. It's
I just think that this is probably I feel like this is one of the worst fan services I've seen in a while, just because it makes no sense. It serves no purpose, and honestly, it didn't even seem like that jarring to Dick. Like, oh, Deathstroke's back. Like everybody got freaked out that Deathstroke was there, but like it wasn't even that traumatizing for Dick, because he's like, he watched him die supposedly,
I,
and
yeah, it just took him a long while for fucking Connor to step up to the plate. Oh, Deathstroke back. Okay, we'll wait 5 minutes until Connor says, "Yeah, I've got this." I mean, Connor's got everything. You know what I mean? He can take care of the whole fucking situation. It's just really poorly done. And then when at the end, when they go back to Star Labs, he's acting like a fucking zombie victim who's been bit, who hasn't told anybody in the group yet, because he's like puking up blood and fucking snakes and shit.
yeah,
And
that was actually
so
my next point that I was going to get into.
I think
Um,
I think he. Sorry for jumping ahead then, but I do think
no, it's fine.
I think Mother Mayhem will try to control him to make him her
Turn
servant,
on, yeah,
because it seems to be
turn on his friends.
it seems to be something that they like to do with Connor, because like last season, like regarding it was he's half Lex Luthor, like
Yeah,
they kind of use the fact that he can be bad as well as good, when really the personality of Connor Kent is good regardless of being a fucking half Lex Luthor. So
yeah.
this idea that he can heel turn is just so fucking stupid in my opinion. It's just
Well, and it's nature versus nurture, and I think at this point with the nurture, it's like he's with the Titans. The Titans are generally good people. He's got the beacon of the Man of Steel, the beacon of hope in him. And so really the Lex Luthor part, it's like it's two against one. You know what I mean? Like the nurture and half of
yeah.
his nature is good, and then like that one half of his nature is just Lex Luthor. It's like I don't know. I think he just doubts himself too much. Sorry, I'm doing up the poll. But anyway, so yeah, we end the episode on that. I mean, I did not, I really didn't like the end of this episode, honestly. It kind of takes some points away, in my opinion. I was not a fan of the Deathstroke thing at all. The zombies things was okay, but I do see your points on, like, why did Connor not just knock everybody out? Um,
Do
the
they
bait and
really have
switch
to?
was okay. Go ahead.
But did they really have to kill everyone? Like, I mean, I thought it was a bit drastic. They had to chop people's heads off. I
I
did
don't,
feel that there were.
did
I
they
thought
kill?
there
I
was a
don't
lot.
think they chopped everybody's heads off, though, did
Yeah,
they?
but even chopping one person's heads off, it just
Yeah.
felt really wrong for some reason. Like, I felt like these people were under mind control, and if that's the case, you're killing innocent people. It felt like that to me. You
Hmm.
know, yeah,
Well, he said be a better Batman, so still he's better by killing people, innocent people.
yeah,
Anyway,
exactly.
I don't. So I don't know. I mean, the bait and switch was fun at the end. Honestly, I didn't see it coming. Where Deathstroke took Sebastian, but then it turned out to be Jinx. I thought that was fun. I honestly, I mean, I probably if I would have thought about it for 2 minutes, it would have made sense. But I was like, oh, yeah, it's Jinx.
Yeah, I
Um,
kind of realized that was the case when Mother Mayhem goes, "There's somebody missing," and then I thought, "Oh, okay, now they're in the van."
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, oh, and the other thing was Deathstroke wouldn't shoot Sebastian. So, I mean, I mean, that makes sense just because they want Sebastian, obviously. So, I don't know if I like this whole reluctant villain thing because he's Brother Blood. He's going to be the villain. So I'm okay with them building him up a bit, but like the reluctant villain thing is just kind of like,
Reluctant, yeah, but he's reluctantly doesn't want to be the villain. The only way he'll be the villain is if he's somehow brainwashed or forced, like saying that enchantment,
yeah,
and all of that. That's what will make him the villain. It won't be because of a choice, because he's been forced into it in a way that he couldn't control. So
yeah,
that's that. So I have no problems with him, particularly going down this path. I mean, he's been brought up as a regular dude, so who works in the bookstore. That's the last thing he probably wanted was to be some sort of mass murderer.
yeah. And I mean, they are kind of trying to get us to sympathize with him. You know what I mean? Like and I do like the fact that we're doing we're doing the team thing now. Like they are a team, and I like the fact that they are a team for most of the season. Like most of the episodes, it's not like Dick running off and doing his own thing and Starfire doing her own thing. And it's actually like they're together, they're a team, they're in this together.
Well, they did
They're
that
in the
last week.
RV.
They did their own thing last week. But yeah, it was good to see them as a team now and again. But I've always said that if you got a Connor Kent in your team, then he's a one man team in his own right. Um, Daniel Vance says the time jumps in this one didn't help the flow. It felt like too much trying to happen in one episode. 5 middle of the road for me. I'll tell you this, Vancey. Um, I'm I don't really like entire episodes being involved into like a time lapse, which is what they did a lot in season two. They did loads of that, and that really pissed me off. Like whole episodes just going back in time with flashbacks and shit. I'm happy that they kind of split it up a little bit, but I was a bit worried that we were going to get a whole episode dedicated to Mother Mayhem at first, and I was thinking, no, I don't want this. I'm here to watch the fucking Titans. But I do understand that you have to, explain things. So so what we got, I was totally fine with. It was just some of the continuity errors I had issues with, a lot of that. So if we are going to mark this, are we going to mark this?
Yeah, go ahead. I think it's about time.
I'm really sorry. I mean, there were moments I did like in this episode, but the continuity is my issue. Like I like the characters, I have no problem with Mother Mayhem to a degree. and all of that, and the magic side plots and stuff like that. But the continuity is fucking bad. I'm very confused, and there's some illogical scenarios that makes no sense whatsoever. So for that reason, I'm very close to giving it a 4. I really am. I'm very close, but I think I'll do a Daniel Vance and go with a 5 because
Okay.
as much as this episode pissed me off, I still want to keep watching this show. So I'll give it a 5.
So 5 out of 5 stars. Got it, Sam. Okay, no, I'm kidding. 5 out
Five
of
out of
10.
10. Five
Yeah.
out of 10.
I'm probably I'm still kind of basking in the loving the team being together. I do like, I do like the way that some of the magic stuff is going. I do like the fact that they are trying to fix some of the season 1 stuff without like totally retconning it. Um, so I'm gonna give it a 6. There were definitely some glaring issues in this episode, though. Even some that I even more realized when me and you were sitting here talking. Like, I mean, that's why I like doing this is because we both have different perspectives on it. So, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6. Uh, but yeah, it's definitely not the strongest episode. The Deathstroke stuff just drove me nuts. I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they did that, and the zombie zealots, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. They were just there. They were there to be superhero fodder. Uh, Sir John says, and aspect aspected. I don't know.
An aspect of comic book adaptation I never knew was romance manga are adapted straight to dramas to a point you don't know what's adapted or original. Okay,
What's
I'm not really.
aspected mean? I don't even. I've never even heard that word before.
I'm trying to
Aspected.
understand what he's saying here, but I
I think
or
he's basically just talking about like the adaptation from comics to from comics real life doesn't translate super well.
yeah.
Was
I mean,
romance manga are yeah.
like a lot of stuff doesn't necessarily translate well from comic book pages or novels onto the screen anyway. So when people complain about certain films not being the same as the books, sometimes it's a lot harder to translate those things,
Hmm.
more harder than people realize.
And let's be real. I mean, romance mangas from Japan that are adapted straight to dramas. You know what that's called? That's called porn. So I
and
mean,
and not just that, like my best example is it the Long Halloween or the one where Barbara Gordon gets paralyzed by the Joker.
oh,
And
no, 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 not the Long Halloween. It's Killing Joke.
the Killing Joke, the one where Barbara Gordon gets paralyzed by the Joker, and at the end, wait, why are you always making noise when I'm streaming? Um, yeah, but at the end, obviously, Joker tells Batman a joke, and then Batman laughs at it. And I thought to myself, that is, in my opinion, one of the most stupidest things I've ever seen. You just like Joker just paralyzed Barbara Gordon, and Batman's now laughing at his jokes. Batman should be beating the shit out of him, possibly breaking his rule and killing him for what he just did. But
Mhm.
so maybe in the comic book it came across really well, that particular scenario, but on screen it looked fucking stupid. So there's an example of it right there.
Yep. Well, right now there's 16, 15, 16 people on the live stream. So that's actually really good. If anyone out there wants to chime in the chat, we're talking about Titans season 4, episode 4. We just gave our ratings. Looks like the chat we got 6 votes right now. Looks like most people are rating it at between 1 and 5. 33% said 6 to 7, and then somebody out there ranked it a 10. So I'd like
Really?
to, yeah, I'd like to know who's who's ranking it a 10 out there, and if you're trolling us. But if you're just joining us, welcome. We do reviews every week, and we love nerdy stuff. We love comic book stuff. We love like Star Wars, Star Trek. So anyway, consider subscribing.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. And we will be back talking more about Titans next Friday, and hopefully, now when's this? Is it 10 episodes a season now? Is it still 12? Jesus
For
Christ, girl.
Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually next week is going to be the mid-season. Like, so
So it's 10 episodes a season.
wait, it might be
Was
10
it?
this, or maybe there's 6. I'm sorry. Maybe it's not next week. Maybe it's the following week. Hold on, let me double check. I just looked at it today, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. There's 2 weeks left. There's 2 weeks left. So episode 6 will be the mid-season, and then they go on break until 2023. So next week and the following week, and then yeah, next week we also have Star Trek, Prodigy, and we're also looking at
Andor.
Andor's. Yeah, Andor season
And
finale. Man, that's whoo.
I'm doing Tulsa King as well on Tuesdays, by the way. I highly recommend it. If you love your gangsters, and I love my gangsters, I love gangster stuff so much. Watch the Tulsa King. It's on Paramount Plus,
Zam
and
likes
it's
his
on.
gangbangs.
Yeah, it's Sylvester Stallone as well, by the way. And talking about gangbangs, he used to be a porn star. Killing Joke, not my favorite. I thought Year One was great, but Under the Red Hood was the best.
Are
Under
you
the
talking
Red
about
Hood.
animated or comic book stories? Because in the animated realm, yes, you are right. Year one was great. I thought because it was more focused on Jim Gordon rather than actually Batman. But Under the Red Hood is between voice acting and writing was and far one of the best animated movies ever. And honestly, the comic book is okay. Like, I'm not gonna say it's the best, but it's definitely a good. I honestly feel like the animated version of Under the Red Hood surpassed the comic book arc.
This is in the comic books. It does seem plausible how this wimpish man ends up being one of the biggest terrorists in comic book history. You know, as the Joker. But on screen, I thought to myself, how is this fucking incompetent coward ever going to be Batman's greatest villain? You know, it felt so fucking wrong that somehow from all of a sudden he's an idiot who doesn't know shit and he's a wimp, can't stand up for himself, and boom, just like that, he just turns into this mastermind, crazy fucking serial killer, no fear, who can take care of himself as well. Sort of character just it felt very out of place personally. While like, in a way, like the character Jack Napier played by Jack Nicholson seemed a lot more plausible because he was already a gangster. You know what I mean? He loses his mind because his face is fucked up and all of that. That came across as so plausible. Um, Jim actually only gave this a 4. You
Wow,
know,
that's like a 0 in our books. And then of course our favorite,
yeah,
we're
I'm getting
gonna
rid of
get
him.
hot girls. We love hot girls.
Yeah, yeah, they always seem to, like uh, they, for some reason they love sharing this stuff with us. They see a couple of geezers like us, and they think, yeah, this is ideal. They probably
They need
attract incels.
they need some loving. That's right. There's some incels that need some loving.
And the thing is, I don't want incels. I mean, actually, you can be, but as long as you're not a fandom menace type incel, we're not really those sort of people. Like the people who watch Nerdrotic and Geeks and Gamers and all those sort of dickheads. We don't really like to associate ourselves with them because they're sad fuckers who actually, in a way, the funny thing is, like, they always complain about everything being woke. So when Wakanda Forever came out, for them that was, they couldn't wait for that shit to come out. If anything, they were loving stuff like Wakanda Forever to come out, but it gives them something to fucking complain about and get all those lovely hate clicks from
Yeah,
fucking
that's
racists and
that's
incels.
that's their bread and butter.
Yeah, they want that shit. They want everything to be allegedly woke, so they can get all those goddamn hate clicks. That's not even a full hand of sausage at Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
you're
that's
damn
that's
right.
not even a full hand of sausages, man. Whew.
Yeah.
I know that's pretty rough. As I said, I didn't think the episode was that bad. I mean, I do agree that there were some issues there, but I didn't think it was that bad. But yeah,
Well, look, like for instance, like she's got this mask over her face. Yeah, because she starts speaking, she'll start mind controlling people. How the fuck does she eat? They stick a tube up her ass. I mean, what the fuck? Like these sort of things. I'm questioning these things, and usually you shouldn't have to question these things if something's good. But in a way, if something's not that good, then you end up questioning it, and that is always a problem in my opinion.
So,
You
but
know?
here's the thing with the mask. It's like, even if she has the mask on, she can still say Azarath Metreon Zinthos in the mask. So it's like, I don't think the mask was really. I don't know if she can. I don't know if she can mind control people with talking. Maybe I don't know. I just yeah. I mean there
Oh,
are
and by the way, she let that guy live.
yeah. She did
Um,
the bald guy that
yeah,
came in.
yeah. So I'm sure he'll have a part to play. Um, in the upcoming episodes, we'll see what happens with him.
We'll see. I don't even honestly know. As I said, I I don't know. I'm just hoping. I mean, yeah, this episode was a bit lackluster. It's not as good as the past couple episodes, but I do really want, this series to do good. I'm just hoping that they don't cancel it after the mid season. I mean, DC is canceling everything right now. I mean, we've lost Stargirl, we lost some of the CW shows. We've lost Superman and Lois. I mean, that we haven't lost it yet, but you know that one's kind of on the
Yeah.
chopping block. I'd assume, just
Well,
because they're
for me,
literally cutting everything.
it's very deflating when you have a show and they're gonna have Lex Luthor. The advertisement is all about Lex Luthor. He's the man. Oh wow! I think to myself, wow! Finally, we got like a top tier DC villain, and then they kill him in the first fucking episode, and they
We're not
fucking
done with Luther. Come on, you
no,
know better than
look,
that.
no, but the point is, I would like to still see Luthor in episode 2, 3, and 4. Somebody who always used his obviously his immense wealth and his intelligence as well to to get around his problem when it came to superheroes. And he was a bit of a scientist too, and all of that. Like I rather honestly, I rather have Lex Luthor than fucking Mother Mayhem. You know what I mean? Honestly, because he's top tier, and and to kill him off, whether he does come back later on or is irrelevant. For him not to be in the current episodes is a total disservice to the marketing that I was given regarding this particular show, because he's not in this fucking show, and it pisses me off. It really does. I want to see Lex Luthor. I want to see Triple H looking left Lex fucking Luthor. You know what I mean? Not Run Lola Run. So anyway,
Bearded Lex Luthor. Okay, well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Everybody out there in YouTube land, thank you very much for joining us. If you have not already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We do, as I said earlier, we do reviews of Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, Marvel, when it's all coming out. We like to do reviews of this stuff and talk about this stuff because, god damn it, we love it.
yeah, we're
Um,
fucking nerds, man. We're fucking
yeah.
nerds. If you're a fucking nerd, you should be subscribing to this shit right now and then fucking spreading us all over the place. You know what I mean? Like what you spread in your fucking tissues at night. Spread us. Spread it, spread it, spread it. You know what I mean?
And that too. So Zam, thank you again very much. Daniel Vance, of course, have a great weekend as well, my friend. We always appreciate you being here.
And
Um,
and even when we're not on schedule, by the way, there's always something that might tickle our fancy that we might end up reviewing. As you've known, I've reviewed a couple of films here and there, which I came across, like Weird Al Yankovic story and all of that. So there's always something out and about. I just recently saw a movie the other day. Unfortunately, I won't be reviewing it. Let me just quickly find out what it was again.
well, in the meantime, Jim, thank you very much for giving us the thumbs up and sharing. We always appreciate it. And good night.
See How They Run. It's a film. It's a whodunit starring Sam Rockwell, who does a
Ooh.
fantastic English accent, by the way. It's really good to see an American play an Englishman, because usually it's us Brits who are always playing Americans. So this time around, you got an American playing an Englishman. It's got a decent cast in it as well. Let me just quickly pull it up. Uh, it's got I can never say her name properly. Saoirse Rowan, I think she's an Irish actress. Oh, that's my car charging scene. It's
It's
got
time for your blood pressure medication.
yeah, it's got Adrian Brody in it as well. It's got as I said, Sam Rockwell playing a British police officer. It's a few decent actors in it. It's an okay whodunit. I personally figured it out. I personally figured it out within minutes of the movie starting, which is not necessarily a good thing, but they kind of hinted at it in a way. So in a way that might not necessarily be obvious to everyone, but it was obvious to me. So John, I read the best comedy recently. Samurai is a 16-year-old girl. It's a spin of Pinocchio. Is that how you
Pinocchio.
spell?
Yeah.
Is
That's
that how
not how
you
you
spell it?
spell it, but that's not how you spell it, but that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, fair enough. The puppet isn't alive. A 30-year-old dude lives his life through puppeteering a teenage puppet. You know what? That sounds like a horror
Creepy.
movie, mate. Yeah.
Sounds like a horror movie.
It sounds like a fucking horror movie. It
All
sounds
you all
like
you have to
fucking.
do is tell me that the 16-year-old doll is actually a real girl that is strung up by hooks, and he's playing.
Well, what was that? What was that one movie? 1 second, sorry. Um, I need to find it out 1 second. Al Pacino, Computer Girl. Um, Simone. Yeah, Simone. Yeah, there's a film called with Al Pacino where he creates a girl on the computer called Simone, and she's not real, by the way. She's not even AI. She's just somebody you can control and make talk and stuff like that. But she becomes a sensation, and everybody thinks she's real because she's on TV and she's singing songs and stuff like that, and everybody wants to meet her, but she's not real, and Al Pacino has to pretend that she's real and stuff like that. It's pretty good. I would recommend it. It's an unusual film for Al Pacino. I saw it a while back, by the way. Anyway, he's so good at puppeteering. After a few chapters, the puppeteer disappears in front of your eyes, and you believe Summer is a real girl. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. It still sounds creepy as fuck, though.
It
Um,
does. All right. So anyway, as I was saying before, please give this video a like, share it out to your friends and family members, and your dog, and your cats, and also leave a comment if you're watching this on the rewind, because we are NerdTube. We are the greatest YouTube channel you've never fucking heard of. I will catch you guys in the next one. Zam, we'll catch you too, right?
yeah, peace out, motherfuckers.
All right. Bye, guys.